Hello everyone, this is Riccardo Massini and this is Vlog, and this is Rommel's War, published by Wooden Games and designed by Derek Croxton. Now this is a very peculiar game about the campaign for North Africa. No, it is not campaign for North Africa by Richard Berg, by no means. Why? Because it is a highly streamlined and I won't say abstracted, but highly minimalistic, highly essential game about the campaign for North Africa. Why? Because this game puts you in charge, absolutely in the only in the perspective and the point of view of the top commanders. That is, this is true. This truly is Rommel's war, but the war seen through the eyes of Erwin Rommel. So you only have the decisional space of Erwin Rommel. You just decided the broad maneuvers, the broad spectrum of maneuvers that you will make in this part of the conflict. Yes, you are dealing with logistics, but only with the effects of logistics. You're not actually managing logistics. Why? Because we have a lot of junior officers dealing with that kind of stuff, and a quartermaster, etc. You are dealing with the broad and general usage of a cover. Why? Because you have a liaison officer from the Luftwaffe, and the same is for the commanders on the Commonwealth side, that is Wavell, Auchinleck, and Montgomery. Well, Montgomery is not in the game because it's a bit late, but anyway, this is essentially a very top level treatment of the campaign on North Africa. Now, what you're seeing here is the configuration for the solitaire game, because the game can be played solitaire or by two players. When played by two players, yes, this is a block game, so you will have only this kind of stuff on the map. You won't see the blocks belonging to your opponent. In the solitaire you see everything, and since the conflicts the battles are resolved not through tables or etc., in solitaire game you are all the defender will have a bonus through the dice with a simple, I won't say a bottle, because this does not take into decision, I'd say a friction generator. So for example, your perfect attack might be cancelled, for example. Okay, how the game works is that you have those pieces have attack and movement and types. For example, German panzer units have a reduced block, a reduced step. Oh yeah, here it is. Why? Because well, they are the German panzer, that's where they're very resilient. You have anti-tank guns that when they are attacked by armored forces have 5 in defense, usually they are 2 in attacks, and so on and so on. And yes, you have the old Italian infantry divisions, which, well, are not incredibly bad, I would say. So it is quite respectful, this game, except for Fort Maddalone. I'd think that this is Fort Maddalena. The usual spelling stuff. Anyway, the map is a simple, very streamlined, very minimalistic, once again, map of North Africa, a simple point-to-point. You have the Via Balbia, that is the great highway. Oh, since it is a North Africa game, the map is very long. Here is El Agheila, here is Tripolitania, here is Tobruk, and here is Alexandria. Okay, so the map is very long. It is very nice. I really like it. And the map is point to point. In the Via Balbia and in the road network here, you have 4 bonus spaces. Otherwise, you use simply the simple Tyrol simple movement to choose spaces. Okay, how the game works. You have 10 turns to make 2 things. Either you capture El Agheila as the Commonwealth or Alexandria, down here, as the Axis forces, and the game ends. Or by the end of the game, by turn 10, you hold Tobruk, but Tobruk must not be besieged. If you have troops, for example, Gazala, Heladem, and Bardia, or Tobruk is besieged. So you only win as a Commonwealth player, in this case, the Axis if the parts were reversed, only if you have more units, and generally by the end of the game the axis will have more units. So as a Commonwealth player, you better keep Tobruk safe, or even get to Elaguera, which is quite difficult. And you have 10 turns. Those turns are very easy, very simple sequence of play. At the beginning, you receive your reinforcement, but here's the catch. The entire setup that you see is random, except for the one German Panzer division. Yeah, and another here on turn 6. Everything is random. Every play is different. Why? Because in the perspective, the point of view, the top commander, they did not know. They had no knowledge of what the other commander had, which troops we would receive. So this is what I say, that this is what I mean when I say that this game puts you in the very perspective of the commander, because you are not sure what your own troops will be in 2 or 3 or 4 turns. So this setup, you receive, first thing, you receive reinforcements, not as the axis in the first turn, but as you see on the simple table of reinforcements here. First turn, only the Commonwealth will receive it. For example, you won't receive anything, okay, and you also have those cards. Second point, you draw one initiative card. Those are shuffled, they are not in your hand, you don't play them, you just draw them. Oh, what do we have? I can have one additional move or +1 to one attack. And even those simple, very small bonus are fundamental, very, very precious for this game, which is very strict situation. Okay, in this situation, I want to get to Tobruk. What should I do? For example, in a solitaire game, I will probably make 2 moves. First move, here, Mekili, I attack. 5 + 3 + 4, that is 12 combat points against 3. And then I roll die. This is what I do in the solitaire, and then I consult this table. Let's say, okay, on a 1 to 5, round 2, defending units, defender alt for the die roll rounded down. That is 1. 3 + 1 is a 4, a simple 4. So this, when someone loses a battle, they lose 1 unit, so the other units retreat for their maximum movement. For example, they would retreat here into Tobruk as disrupted, but this is eliminated. Anyway, if I get this 6, what happens? Oh, the attack is cancelled. This is the solitaire. In a 1 versus 1 situation, what would I do? Both players will just reveal their units. And I could, for example, reveal, maybe you don't want to reveal all your units because there is fog of war, you want to keep your enemy in the doubt. And if I do this because I did not know what they had here, oh, too bad, tie. So I lose this unit. The other units, the unrevealed units, are not affected, but they have to retreat from where they started, and this one stands. Okay, and they have to retreat, and they are disrupted. They will be reorganized by the end of the turn. Anyway, let's say that I make this battle, I win here in Mekili, and then I get this one in Agedabia. Why? Because, well, this I know that this is an armored. I wouldn't know that. I would just hope it was an armored in a 1 versus 1. Anyway, here I have these troops like that. Then I make 2 moves. I could make 3 moves thanks to this card, or +1 to an attack. I didn't need it. The moves, as I said, 4 bonuses if I move, plus the movement points if I move along a road or a combined movement, road and trail. Just the movement points. Just see that there are fortifications at Alexandria. They're built-in fortification. They have also fortification units, have air units. They have special effects, as you can see in the rule book. And after that, it is the Commonwealth turn. So the Commonwealth will receive 2 reinforcements and get them to Alexandria. Okay, I will get them, and possibly I will make 1, 2, 3, 4. I will get them to Bardia, for example. As a move, I can move 4 units as a group, and maybe I will get 1, 2 just to Gazala. Why? Because if the Axis does that, supply, the end phase, I forgot the end phase for the Axis, but it is the same for the Commonwealth. All the units that are not linked to their home base or near Tobruk for the Commonwealth, if Tobruk is Commonwealth controlled, well, they are essentially immobilized, and if they, at the end of the turn, they're still out of supply, they're just poof, they're just eliminated. I will make something like that. I will retreat towards Gazala. I could also make a special naval movement and just get them to Tobruk, but I will not have these other. Why? Because I forgot. No effect. For my card, etc., 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 and I will get on and on until 10 hours. Okay, I hope it was clear. It is a very easy game. Some rules are a bit sophisticated, but essentially the sequence of play is, and is also on the map, receive reinforcements, draw 1 initiative card, see the bonuses, make 2 moves and resolve combat, and then the end phase, recovery and supply. And check your victory conditions by the end of turn 10, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what I really like about this game is that with such simple rules, such a so simple management of resources, you really get into the heads of the commanders. You get to do choices, strategic choices, maneuver choices. You are focused there. There's nothing more than that. So you're highly focused. Also, lots of variability, lots of thanks to the random setup, lots of replayability. Even if this means you will never have an historical order battle, there is on BGG, of course, a variant, because it is BGG, the Boggin Geek, a variant with historical order battle, but this really adds to a level of bluff and passes you really into the perspective of the commanders. Also, please remember that just note that you are really thinking about, oh, should I go to LDM or try Galzala, or should I try Kutokate supply? I'm just moving around those pieces, I'm just maneuvering around, so I'm only focused on the maneuvers. That is truly the perspective of the commander-in-chief of the campaign. And this is, once again, fantastic, amazing, really great, and I really love that in this game. It is very simple, but its simplicity of this game is not okay. I think that it did not just try to, oh, let's make a simple game about North Africa, but let's make a game about the point of view of the commanders in North Africa. And since I'm focused just on that level of simulation or command, okay, the game is simple. Oh, nice. It is just a consequence. It is very interesting because it's very chess-like in the maneuvers, but then the battles becomes very poker-like because you just use some pieces and not others. It's just like, okay, I have these cards, and I have these other cards. Very nice, very tense, very dramatic. Okay, it is not a game for everyone. Not if you are a rivet counter or highly fixated on the very specific orders of battle, but it really gets you into perspective how commanders think in war. Also, it is nice, it has good components. These blocks, those are not labels, they are printed like that. This is very nice, and it is usual top Worthington Games quality. I really like this game. Oh, it is very fast, it's very easy, but it really puts you into the mindset of the commanders. and I really like this game. And I am a bit fixated about the games about the campaign for North Africa as an Italian, of course. But I really like this game, and I'm very happy to have this game in my collection. Also, it is very swingy. Lots of stuff will happen around here. So very nice game, very recommended. Thank you for having been here with me. Take care as always, have fun, and remember, always remember, don't be scared. It's just war games. Ciao.